forum nights, as some of you who are regular attendees know, we might only get 10 people here. So, the population does tend to fluctuate in the forums depending on the severity of the issue. There's going to be a lot more effectiveness if more people participate in running their own community, and the forum is one of the ways of doing that. We can have subcommittees like focusing on this Anson Street issue. The same thing could happen doing their own community plan for St George's Basin. So there's plenty to do. If we win this, it's not you shouldn't stop coming to the forum. It's time to take the next step and plan your town. And it's been done already in the Shoalhaven. I think Shoalhaven Heads, Sussex Inlet, Berry, they've had tremendous participation and it's really got the community engaged. And it also, puts a bit of a stop to, errant developers thinking they can run roughshod over it when the community really has got involved. It shows the community really cares for a start rather than in arrears.
David Reynolds at the gathering last night, the forum meeting, a regular meeting, but typically, as was impressed by the chair, sometimes less than a dozen in attendance. Last night, comfortably over 100, possibly 120. There were 10 rows of 10 chairs and there were more people standing at the back. And I was really interested to have that opportunity on the invitation of Maureen Webb, a part of the committee there. Hello, Maureen.
Good morning, Chris.
A great meeting, well chaired, and really strong community participation. They really had their chance to say a few words.
Yes, it was a great meeting. We were really pleased to see the community come out in force so that they could let council, and there were councillors there, and the mayor came along when she could because there was another meeting on at Tomarong.
Correct. Councillors there, yeah. Patricia White, Councillor White, I've made contact with this morning. She's actually in Sydney now at something else that's representing our city's business, so she's unavailable for a chat. But I thought that she also conveyed the message of council clearly enough, and the community listened.
Yes, definitely. The community heard everything that was going on and should understand, although it is a confusing issue, but we do really need to have some input from the community, written input to come in from the community to council at this stage so that we can put a halt to 15 four-storey flats that are proposed for Anson Street.
Yeah, this is the crux of it. Anson Street, St George's Basin, a proposal or a development application. Just say that again. 15, the amount of residents that these flats could handle, I'm hearing as many as certainly 600, possibly even 1,000.
Well, I worked it out because there are 3 and 2-bedroom flats, and it's a possible 1,400 plus. So that could be there, and that's just incredible for this village of St George's Basin.
Okay, there are all sorts of reasons why residents have got issues. The height is the one that I'm most interested in, just for the minute, not overall, just for the minute, in the sense of the technicality that seems to have developed here. The local environment plan, what you would hear as LEP, speaks to 11 metres.
Well, that was before they did a review of the LEP.
And this is the one that I'm getting not confused with, but I think there was calmly spoken, a council mess up here, wasn't there, about 4 years ago?
Well, it was an erroneous decision, we believe, that they would change it, evidently. One person, a developer, spoke on the floor of council after all submissions had come in from the community, requesting that be raised. He may have made a submission himself, right. But that was changed. On the floor of that meeting, it was changed that night, and it did have to go through the processes, but there definitely was not as much consultation about that. The forum received notification and did
and raised its objection at that time.
At that time, yes, we did.
And it just seems by the councillors of the day it didn't seem to matter as much somehow.
No, I don't think they understood.
It's mattering now to them.
Well, I don't think they understood the ramifications. I can't understand why. And I suppose we didn't either. Well, you can say, oh yes, 13 metres, okay. But now when you see it in place, it's just going to be horrific.
13 metre height now, where it was 8.5, the LEP says possibly to 11 with other technicalities with the state government's participation. 13 metres, these are 4-level unit blocks. Yes,
with 2 stories underground, which is raising concern also.
With the removal of the clay, the dirt, the clay substance, which is then having a leaching problem into St George's Basin.
That's right. It's already doing so, evidently. I can understand if they're digging down 7-metre holes for 2 buildings and now 15 buildings, you cannot believe what could happen if we get the torrential rain that St George's Basin is used to. It could will just wash into the basin. There's nothing they can do to control it. With all of their sediment controls that they've got in place, it just doesn't seem to work.
Maureen, the proponent is always welcome to also have opportunity on the radio station. For my part, though, it was the community forum meeting that I'm providing coverage for, and readily and happily so. The situation, though, legally is that it's before the Land and Environment Court now.
Well, one section, and this is where it gets confusing for the community, one development application has gone in, and that was for two 13-metre buildings.
Right, so there's one DA in, that is before the Land and Environment Court.
That's before the Land and Environment Court. We've already had a conciliation conference with the Commissioner where residents spoke to the Commissioner of their concerns, and it was slightly amended, and it went back for more comment, and now it's going to an actual court hearing, which will be held in Albion Park at the end of June.
But additional, and not altogether separate, because we're still Anson Street at St George's Basin, there is another DA.
Well, now there's a development application for 15 of those same flats, but it will include these that are already in.
Okay.
So if they're approved, then it will be difficult to stop them once they're approved. I think these are the important issues at the moment.
Right, and because of this second DA being so substantial in its size, it immediately goes beyond what is Council's determination, but to the JRPP, the Joint Regional Planning Panel.
That's correct, and it has to be, it's the cost actually. It's 116 million purported to cost. So,
and just the thoughts of that, an investment by someone wishing to be a developer in St George's Basin, in their interpretation, bringing prosperity to the central Shoalhaven region. Is there any consideration? I heard none of it at the meeting last night. I'm just asking, is there any consideration in the villages area there that it could be any way positive?
Well, I cannot see this because we do not have the facilities to support anything like this, even two of the buildings. We cannot support it. We do not have a bus service that could supply any transport for people looking for work in Nowra. There are shopping facilities there, but I don't think it would support the numbers that are coming. The schools are already overcrowded. The doctors' facilities can't handle anymore. So I do think that, we just don't have the infrastructure to cope with it. The road itself that's proposed for is very, very narrow. You can't drive comfortably two cars coming each way. They have to move over and go. You cannot park on the street. It is just a problem.
Your president, the Basin Villages Forum, just in the brief audio that I was recorded last night, Mr David Reynolds spoke to other community consultative bodies in the Shoalhaven, specifically Sussex Inlet, Shoalhaven Heads as examples, where they have put together to council their planning for their village and town. It might be time for the Basin Villages Forum to complete such a document. Yes,
that's really good to hear that was brought up at the meeting last night, because it's time now that we have to get the community to get together again and work out exactly what they want for their village. Do they want these high-rise? It would be lovely to have some tasteful buildings designed and also retain our character that we have. And we still have, and I keep saying this and I don't know how people feel about that, we still have bushland, we still have birds, we still have a beautiful lake. Let's keep it, let's retain that low cut village,
to about 8.5 metres, I would think. That's what the IGA is developing there, isn't it? 8.5, that's two-storey.
Well, it can go to two-storey, so there's a mixture in this area. Right. Yes.
Okay, the community led me with clarity that they are not at all appealed by this, so whatever I can do to lend that promotion, if the proponent would like coverage, they are welcome to it as well as a conversation. Yes. It's not just one side here, but right now it's the community that are saying they want coverage, they want to have this awareness, and anything we can do to increase that, specifically in St George's Basin. My email is there, Maureen. We're in contact all the while. Okay?
Thank you, Chris. Can I just say that our forum meets every third Monday of each month at the Merriton Street Community Hall, 7:30, and there is a forum website, Basin Villages Forum. You can find us, and there will be information on that site. We are updating it each day to make sure that people are aware and can access that information. And of course, Council's website also has a DA tracking, which is a little bit more difficult, but if anybody wants to contact us, they can do so through that, or even with my mobile phone number.
Good. I have all of that information, Maureen. Appreciation for my invitation and for the participation in the meeting last night. Grateful to you. Wish you well.
Thanks for your assistance, Chris.
Maureen Webb from the Basin Villages Forum, representing the St George's Basin Villages community. Now that would be Brim Beach, Brights Beach, Errol Bay, Old Errol Bay. I think we know where we are in the world, aren't we? Some beautiful places. Sanctuary Point, St George's Basin, obviously, and Basin View. And the third Monday of the month is their scheduled meeting time. And if you'd like any further information, I'll get some of that on my show page as well. 2st.com.au. It's 10 to 10.